Hello everybody, I am back. If you hadn't noticed, I've talked a lot about Spirits Mode in Smash Ultimate and how creative it can be, especially with characters from series like Mother and how they're represented. But I haven't quite gotten to the newly revamped Classic Mode, as for the first time, each fighter has a path unique to the character. Lucas's route, for example, is called Magic, Sacred Powers, and PSI, or Psi, which has the boy facing off against the psychically gifted. Ness's classic mode is definitely more fleshed out for the character though. His enemies specifically reflect those from the world of EarthBound, which is what I'll be talking about today. So right off the bat, Home to Onett is the English name for Ness's route, but in Japanese it reads Homesick, let's go back to Onett, which is a clearer homage to the status ailment Ness can randomly be affected with in his game. Homesickness leads to missed turns in battle from longing reminiscing, and the only cure is to call your mom and hear her voice. That's not going to do in Smash though, so we have to help him physically make the journey back to his hometown. So put on that backpack, grab your favorite baseball cap, and change into your sneakers with worn out heels. Because this all starts with the first opponent challenged being yourself. Meaning we have to pull Ness's head out of the clouds, literally by freeing him from the realm of his mind, Magicant. We're not just fighting any alternate costumed Ness either. This is his blue outfit, meant to resemble his younger self shown in this flashback. You could also interpret the getup as Ness in his pajamas, which is how you explore Magicant in EarthBound, but probably not. Because remember, this was simply an overseas censorship choice. In Mother 2, he was stark naked instead. Anyway, upon defeating a younger Ness in Coming 2, he awakens in the futuristic New Pork City. But how is that even possible? How'd he get here? Kidnapped by a certain someone traveling through time and space, perhaps? In the confusion of things, Ness battles his other Mother representative Lucas, and upon winning, must have re-hijacked the phase distorter that brought him here, because now we're back in Eagle Land for the third stage. From one big city to another, this encounter takes place in a robot-infested Fourside, fighting R.O.Bs meant to resemble the mechanized enemies of EarthBound, most likely the Sentry robot, under influence of the alien invader Gygus. And this is where Ness's classic mode really shines, because after that fight is a showdown in Gerudo Valley, which could either be Dusty Dunes Desert or Saturn Valley, both of which make sense because in EarthBound, they're the areas visited before Fourside, so we're geographically traveling in reverse to get back to Onett. With this fight, I'm not sure what exactly the developers had in mind with Sheik though. My best guess is the Shattered Man of Summers and Scaraba, to keep with the desert theme. Anyway, as we're traveling backwards, the next round fittingly takes place on Luigi's mansion, against two Dark Toon Links. It's like fighting urban zombies in the nightmare town of Threed, before Master Belch takes reign. And slaying the undead, we skip Tucson, to finally get Ness home back in Onett for the penultimate fight. Like Sheik, I'm not quite certain on why it's Villager and Isabelle, though I think they were chosen because these Animal Crossing characters are somewhat stylized like Ness and Lucas in Smash. To a non-fan, they kind of look like they could be from the same game, so Villager could simply be a citizen of the town, and Isabelle a runaway dog. Or, since they're fighting in front of the drugstore, she could be a stand-in for Ruffini, this dog who claims to be possessed by the spirit of EarthBound's game designer. How fitting for World of Light. But now that Ness has both returned home and presumably gobbled up some Mac, there's one final challenge he's ready for. Taking on the Master Hand, or both him and Crazy Hand if you're on a higher difficulty. Not gonna lie, since we don't have Porky as a returning boss, I do kind of wish at least Mewtwo was fought here as well, like at the end of Pikachu and Pokemon Trainer's route, since he's so similar looking to Geeg in EarthBound Beginnings. Though for all the attention to detail and fan service Ness's classic mode offers, it's really hard to complain. That final image with the whole gang here as actual 3D models is too satisfying. This is the best they've ever looked. Ness, Paula, Jeff, and Pooh are pictured here in Isle Delfino too. So maybe after this journey home, Ness and his friends all went to take a vacation in Summers. Should have just used PK Teleport in the first place if you ask me. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Maybe soon I'll finally get around to covering all of the EarthBound spirits like I did for Mother 3. And speaking of Mother 3, one last somewhat related detail in Classic mode I'd like to talk about is Mewtwo's route. His theme is all based around mind control and manipulating characters that have already been possessed in their respective games. For example, when Richter, who was once possessed by Shaft in Symphony of the Night, is defeated by Mewtwo in this round, the Castlevania rep will be puppeted by Mewtwo in the next fight. The very first matchup is a brawl against Ness and Lucas, with Mewtwo then controlling Lucas in his Masked Man ult. Here we go again. Looks like I have to make another video. I'm only kidding, but let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.